आकांक्षा। मेरी आवाज बहुत डीले में जा रही है, मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है। वेलकम एवरीवन। पहली स्ट्रीम में आपका बहुत बहुत वेलकम है। I'm looking for a buckle that will match with her concept. Hmm. Hi Chetan. खुद बनाओ मेहनत करूँ। मौसम वेज मचकन। हाँ, ये कोई तो वेबसाइट का था। Like, मैं कभी किसी के सामने काम नहीं करा है तो इसलिए थोड़ा मुश्किल हो रहा है मेरे को, बट मैं बात करके यैप करूं। अरे अनन्या, हेलो जी। सारे दोस्त आ गए मेरे। बेसिकली अभी मैं एक डिटेलिंग पास कर रही हूँ। बेस लेवल पे तो सब ऑलमोस्ट मैंने ब्लॉक आउट कर दिया है। ब्लॉक आउट से भी एक स्टेप में आ गई हूँ, बट उसके बाद भी एक और पास। इसकी बारी। बेसिकली कोई साईफाई सा लुक देना चाह रही हूँ मैं इसको। नहीं, एग्जैक्टली गेम जैसा नहीं रखूंगी। मेरा मोटिव यही है कि मैं उसको काफ़ी रियलिस्टिक वर्जन में बनाऊं। अ, जैसे कि अगर रेज रियल लाइफ में एग्जिस्ट करती तो। और क्रैक ब्रश, यस, वो बिल्कुल एंड में जब सरफेस लेवल डिटेल्स दूंगी ना, तब डालूंगी। रेज मीनिंग आईआरएल। कोई डिजाइन पसंद नहीं आ रहा बिल्कुल भी। वी गो बैक। लेयर भी लगाना भूल गई थी। मे बी समथिंग लाइक दिस। दूर से रीडेबल होना चाहिए। Yes. Uh, all the clothing part was made in Marvelous. I got a very high simulated version from Marvelous, and this basically the top and the pants. These were the main two things that were made in Marvelous. I can also show you that uh, to have a nice control over the clothing so that I can deform it any way I like. I have a system of subdivisions so I can move it around very well. It is very low poly at this stage, so it is easier for me to move the model in this area. Control shift rather than lazy mouse. I don't know. I'm always used to lazy mouse. I don't know. I guess I use it a lot. But I can try control shift. I guess I need to reduce the lazy mouse radius for that to work. Oh, it's not working for some reason. Maybe I have binded something else to those keys. Probably. Hmm. Let's see. This broken hold shift not working. Mhm. हेलो। आवाज नहीं आ रही? अब आ रही है? हम्म, रेफरेंसेस देख रही हूँ कि better match the reference, because in the concept it is not as detailed as you see here. I'm trying to add details on top of it to make it look as if it would really exist, because real life things are not as stylized or as simplified as in the concept. So if I were to just take the concept and replicate it one on one, I would not get a really nice result. There's a delay. Oh, let me see. I think it's more like a minute or 30 seconds. It's not 5 minutes. I'm watching my own stream. Just start the stroke and hold the shift. The red line will arrive and then release the shift key while holding stroke. not nice. Maybe something like this. I'm really not used to talking and working, so this is very new to me. Bear with me. I think I'll get used to this. Okay, so this was the before I added those, you could say, internal lines. I don't like the position of these rivets. I think I am going to change that. They're not very readable. I want them to be a little more, I don't know, slanted like this. It's not happening. Hmm. Maybe more subdivision. No. Maybe something like this. Hmm. I think that is good. Let's go to the front piece. I have kept the topology fairly low poly, and I haven't even subdivided yet, so it just gives me more control. I can subdivide at any point, but as long as I can stay in a lower subdivision, that just helps me to have control, and I am able to make changes rather easily. So just to let you guys know, I am making this character under the mentorship of Ankit Garg at Zombie Art School. This will be my second mentorship with him. My first portfolio piece was also done under him, and so will be my second. A subtle difference, but it really widens the chest. Also, I think a big part of realism is asymmetry. Mm, but nature rarely exists in symmetry, so I'm just trying to see how the compression would work on the shirt, how it would react under the pressure of all these vests, basically. You can see it already flares out a bit, but I'm trying to give it a flare on this side more. And let's see how that works. I think it works well. Hmm. Let's go down a few subdivisions and I'll try to compress it even further so we can clearly see how under pressure it is. I think the main part, which makes or breaks your character, is how different elements basically interact with each other. If they interact, say, naturally, how things would, like, we can clearly see there would be a compression happening because this vest is pushing against it. So, naturally, it will puff here, go inside over here. We see that, how that looks. We can do a bit more. And I will also get to this part as well. This is very plain right now, but obviously it won't be under all that pressure. So yeah, let's get to this part. This is not subdivided yet. This is what the low poly looks like. That was under dynamic subdivision. I use dynamic subdivisions a lot They're very helpful in like visualizing how the high poly would look without actually giving it the polygons. Did sir teach you how to sculpt clothes? Yes, actually, in my first mentorship, I think the first 2 weeks were actually based on sculpting the clothes and not really in Marvelous. We were given task basically to replicate a photo, basically to test our sculpting skills and our proportional skills. So yes, he did teach that. So now I am subdividing because I want to add secondary details to this vest. Let's go on a layer. Layers are obviously very helpful. I do not have to commit to any detail. I can always go back and more target it out. For any big proportional changes, really go down to the lowest subdivision that you can to give that detail, because it will really reflect in all of those subdivisions really nicely rather than going to the highest subdivision. And then you can come to a fairly high subdivision to just smooth out whatever details you don't like, or maybe they are too harsh. Or you can also just turn down the intensity of that layer, that also works. So now we can see that there is some tension happening between these belts and this. We really want that. I really wanted to record the first initial steps of this character, though I simply did not. I don't know why. I'm really regretting that decision right now, but I wish I had. So I had something to show for that. But I will be uploading a series of videos on Instagram where I will go through my older files. So I have saved a file for every day, so we can really see the progress that I made from Marvelous, ZBrush, Maya. I think I have all the files, so we can go through the files together. I'm thinking about taking the mentorship. Yeah, it's a good mentorship. I would say go for it if you're really wanting to build a nice portfolio. I would recommend it. You can see I did not divide any of the pieces. Before I had to divide them. Like If there is no need to divide at that point, I will not. I will use dynamic subdivision just to visualize. And then when I have to add details, I will subdivide it. So I will close the dynamic subdiv and divide it. So I can work. We did not need that many divisions. Um, and the initial stages when I was really in the blockout stage of this character, I did everything in symmetry. So all these pieces, everything over here is in symmetry. But of course, when I get to the final stages of uh, finalizing this high poly, I will break the symmetry so it looks more natural. But for the time being and to save time as well, I am going to be using symmetry. I don't think I made a layer for this. Mm. Too big of a difference, or can I go get away with it? I think I can get away with it. Why not? Don't do that. Always make layers. You never know. You'll have to go back on a design. Maybe you find a new design that you much prefer more than that. So, and as we add this tension, you can clearly see it feels like that these uh, number amounts of bells are actually pushing in. One thing I do not like is how this protrudes out. So, okay, what is this piece? And you can see how I arrange my piles. I am very particular about my subtools not being a mess, otherwise, it's really hard to find out what I'm working on. Mm, okay, so this piece is coming out. Is it in symmetry? Yes. It's very low poly. One thing about building your subdivisions very mindfully is that in the low poly phase, it will be very easy for you to build your low poly. You will have a base to start from. Obviously, you cannot do that as a final low poly, but yes, you will have a starting point that will really help you out. And of course, I can use it in the low poly phase. I will just have to auto save. I will just have to delete a bunch of lines, edges, and I will be good to go for the low poly. This right here. Let's make a layer. And don't be like me, always name your layers. I like to do that a little later. So let me see this piece. Hmm. Okay, so I did not really give it thickness. Okay, let's give it thickness. I'm I always give thickness in dynamic subdivision. I'm kind of thinking why didn't I do that? But it's okay. I guess we can handle it. So, of course, the offset will be minus 100. I do not want anything protruding out. You can see this gap between these bells. I actually do not like that. I will have to push it in a little bit. I do want a bit of space between them, but not this much. Just gonna push it in a little bit. Maybe in the lower subdivision it was good to do. Somehow along the way it lost its poly paint. I have no idea why. To meet that gap, I will have to make this a bit wider. Push it out. And then, since I know I will not be giving it any offset, I have to make sure there are no uh, overlapping. It is very clean. I have to ensure that at this stage only, because it will give a lot of problems if I don't in the bakes. Let's mask that and pull it inside. Put this inside too. Oh, once we turn on the dynamic, the poly paint comes back somehow. Somehow, we need to give this more compression. It does not look very believable at this point. I have only done compression details and mm, okay, we can do it on this layer. We pulled it in a bit. I'm thinking of pulling it a bit more because the interaction is not making sense to me right now. Oh god, just a bit. Yep, that should do. I started working on this character last year, but I had to take a break because I got a few freelance projects and I wasn't able to make time for this character, but I really do want to finish her. It was going good. I know it will take me a bit to get on track, mm, but I know I will get there. What else? You can also add some hanging bells over here because right now it feels like how does this even work, right? In the concept, there isn't any, but I will choose to add a few elements to make it more believable. Symmetry. Oh, I meant curve flat snap. Hi, Julian. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Oh, this is subdivided, that's why. What we can do instead is, what can we do? Hmm. Well, we can go the old-fashioned way and just polymodel it, but I'm not feeling like polymodeling it. So flat snap will have to do. Do let then go ahead. Start from here, goes down something like this. Might need the move topology brush. Yep, looks better. Mm, I'm sure there must be a better way to do this. I want to add a few buckles, but I'm not sure if I should go with the existing ones, add new ones, because in essence it is a sci-fi character. I do not want to go with old-fashioned buckles, but at the same time I do not want to overcomplicate it. I'm kind of stuck right now, but better. We will try two options. I will duplicate any existing buckle that I like, and then we'll add a new buckle and we will compare which one looks better. So this one would do. This one is pretty simple. This one has a bit of design. I'm thinking to do one design, one simple. Not sure if it will look good though. I should copy this one first. If there are any other copy now. Do you guys like Z Modeler? I hate it with a passion. I will go to Maya for modeling, but I will not Z model it. It's just unnecessarily very complicated. But I will use it to add simple lines or edges. It is looking a bit cartoony right now. Let's see what we can do about that. Let me search for a few more references. This is good for a block out. Let's poly paint it. So it looks a bit like the bell time movie. Okay, so I am just a bit confused right now because I first thought that maybe adding similar two because they were here would be a good decision, but I don't really think so. I like the asymmetry that this buckle adds. Not sure. Always let the autosave run. I am too scared to ever stop the autosave because mm-mm, not on my watch. Okay. Hmm. Let's address this piece. Mm. So this has been subdivided, yes. And I'm guessing it has its own subdivisions. Okay. I do not want interactions between these two components, so I will. Oh, there's a layer. More topology. Giving it slightly a bit wobbly look. Not wobbly, just. Mm. Okay. For this piece, let's see. I want to create a border for this, which will be a separate mesh, not the same one, to create kind of piping. Let me show you a piping similar to this. But that was made in Maya, and I'm trying to make it in ZBrush. Okay, we can do that. We can duplicate this. Mm, really high subdivision. Take all. Lead higher. And now we have this. And we can group by normals to basically extract. What do we have? These edges. I basically want these, right? So outside of this, we can play with this. I'll just delete hidden. Let's play with. Okay. I think we are getting there. Of course, it would need a lot of tweaks. We can push it out a bit. So Well, first let's give it more thickness. Once I am happy with that, I will apply the subdivision. Go to Z modeler again. I'll just group by normals. I can choose this side just to push it back because it did not have enough thickness. Is it good? Okay, so there is a bit of overlap. You can fix that. Just choose the front edges and bring them out. Now, if it looks too thick, it's okay because once it gets subdivided, oh, it will go down a lot. So I'm not worried about that. What I'm worried about is what kind of detail should this have? Hmm. I still do feel it is a bit thicker. A little goes a long way. I'm not gonna go more than that. Rather than moving that, I feel like I should move this, or rather this. Oh, yeah. Somehow the dynamic just really, I'm very careful with intersections because I have seen what it does if you not take care of them, and I do not want that at all. Okay, so somehow it just keeps going black for some reason. I'm not too worried about that. I can poly paint it again, of course, with the layer off, because I think that is what making the polycolors poly paint worse. So what we can do is with the subtool, not the poly paint, give it a darker color. That looks nice. Just fill it. Oh, don't forget to turn off the layer. Perfect. What? Let's see. I think this will be Would be fine. And then we can just delete this one and add Bitcoin inside. Okay, so maybe we should just do it manually. So even if I turn off smooth elevation, it is giving me smooth elevation for some reason. Subdivide it. There are no holes in this mesh, so I'm not aware why it's happening. Hmm, this is weird. Mhm. Okay, I guess I just had to turn off. Do I have symmetry on? Oh, that does not fuck up the model, right? What is happening over here? Hey Daniela, how you doing, girl? Good to have you here. Thank you so much. Always have my back. Yes, this is the character that I was working on. Yes, yes, that's the same character you can see. I'm just trying to finish it now, so hopefully streaming will give me another motivation to finish this. Maybe before I add that detail, I would like to group it by normals, so I do not have to do it all over again, but it looks like I'll have to do it mm, because it messes up my normals. Maybe there's a setting. Let me check. I'll just keep it the same polygroup. Hopefully that will help. Okay, try freezing it. Two should be fine. No, it did not come out well. I think this is the reason. So we'll just group this by normals. Group it by normal as well. I think it would work this time. Should work. Freeze it, smooth it. It's giving me a bit of issues here. Maybe it is the creasing. I need to increase the creasing. Nope. Still not working nicely. So I think I'll have to add a few more edges over here. Mm, yeah, I'd love to see it. Maybe we can sit together and work. Let us go. He's stay winning for sure. Looks better. Not still not happy about the creasing, but hmm, this will have to do. Otherwise, what I can do is I can add a few more loops over here and over here to keep it, increase it, loop it, increase it, dynamic. This gives a better look. Better. So I will move on to adding a few more secondary details on this front piece. We just added this piping type of border, but this still seems very unfinished, so let's see how that works. Hmm, okay, that's too big, too small. Can I use symmetry? No, I cannot. So this piece from the beginning was asymmetrical, I suppose, because symmetry is not possible in it. But remember, always work in symmetry if you can. Saves time and save lives. I swear the damn standard brush just hates me coming. I've been thinking about streaming my work since I think almost the end of last year, but I was just, you can say I was lazy. I really didn't want to do it. It felt like a lot of work, and this is really pissing me off. Oh God. Yeah. So a bit of cleanup can go a long way. And you can see that I really spent a lot of time on these belts. It was all done in Maya. I did not use ZBrush for this. I think I used Mesh. Yes, I used Mesh for this. Because no way I'm modeling all that. I made like a little box piece over here and I just rotated it. Not manually, of course. That would be awful. Let me pull up some references so I do not butcher this front piece. Yeah. So it looks like in the concept, this area was basically, oh, um, like so. Maybe a standard brush would do. Oh, somewhat like this. I don't think it would look good. Let me try it again. Auto save. I guess it looks nice. Think we can do that. Hmm. Yeah, we can smooth it ever so slightly so there is not a harsh line over here. Not too much. Let's see it in the final subdivision. Okay. Looks a lot cleaner. Again, if you ever want to clean up, just go to a lower subdivision first. It will help you a lot. So you're not like smoothing forever at the highest subdivision. Then it gets easier to smooth once you're there. And of course, it will be subdivided once more. But right now, I don't need it. If you really zoom it, you could see that it really needs it. But I think the details be added over here. I am in a bit of dilemma right now because in the concept, we can see that Raze has a buckle over here, basically this buckle, and then a metal rivet over here. But in her game model, she only has this buckle. So now I'm divided between should I add that metal rivet, should I not add it? Maybe I should just add it and see how it looks. Something like that. Oh, I think what I'll do from the next stream is I'll have the concept of rays like docked around over here, so it will be easier to see for you guys. Let's get back. Some things that I really want to change. Okay, first thing first, let's subdivide it. If I like the thickness, I'll just accept the dynamic. Think it's good. It's close to the belt underneath. I'll accept it, increase it, group it, increase it again, and then subdivide it. So, yeah. Anything else is there was something on my screen. I thought my screen was broken. So of course, not everything would exist perfectly. So I'm kind of messing things around. Of course, this is still low poly, so I can. And we can go to the higher subdivision for this. Been good so far. I think I'm mostly done with the high poly. It's just that I need to do a few tweaks and get on with the final detailing pass. That will take me the longest, I think, because I can never be sure. I'm always thinking I could do this, I could do that, and then I'm stuck. So, oh, by the way, I really love the pants that I made. You can see how to get foreign clients for freelance. Build a strong portfolio, have a good networking. Basically, I think a lot of deals you can get through Discord actually. So, your networking skills and your portfolio are the two main things that will get you your foreign clients. You should have a solid portfolio. Sometimes they will basically reach out to you, like firstly, and you don't have to apply. That could also happen. Sometimes that happens too. So, basically, your portfolio should be solid. I'm yet to work on the headphones. I know they look very plain right now, but of course they will get the same treatment as this piece got. I will not let it go plainly. I'm just thinking what could be done to those. Maybe I will look for some futuristic headphone designs. I think Sony has some, like back in the day. They don't have it anymore. But yep, see what we can do. What we can do right now is try to get some interesting loops going around on the belt. They don't have to make sense all the time. It just has to look visually appeasing, appealing, sorry. Okay, so see how I gave these loops around over here? When you look at them from the front, they create this interesting triangle. There are two over here. So there's asymmetry on the plate too. I am thinking about doing the same for the back. So I'll just get a hold of this buckle. Okay, I need to. I will start placing this same buckle over here. Since this already has buckles, I will place the loops over here. Sorry about before I was kept saying buckles for some reason. It's been so long that I've worked on this character that it's it's kind of like almost amazing how far I got and then I left it. But no worries, we can get back again. And now you will be seeing like there is an intersection over here. I what I could do is I could scale up the buckle, scale up the loop to fit the belt, but if I do that then um there won't be any tension, you could say. So what I would do instead is I would go to this belt, I would make a new layer, and I will just push this in. Oh, this is a separate tool. So let's close this group. For this belt, okay. For some reason it wasn't able to leave it. Okay, so as I was saying, we would push down this belt to make it seem like the loops are really tight and they're basically pushing in. What we can also do is basically a little flare, not too much, just a little noticeable. So we see there is this huge gap now. So what we can do is push it up, and size it down a bit. In the design sense, you would say that Raze does not have so many different buckles, different loops, different bags, belts, and all. But that's the point. That is a stylized character. Of course, it is not going to have that much detail. Stylizing is all about enhancing, and you could only enhance so much without overcomplicating things. So, this is where we get to add the fun stuff. There's a bit of intersection going on over here. Let's fix that. And all those bags you see, this bag, this arm pouch, they were all made in Marvelous. I did not make them in ZBrush. I don't know. I just really like to build bags in Marvelous. Even for my last project, the one that I made, In the mentorship, the whole brown bag, the big one, I made it in Marvelous. I did not model it. I feel like it's fun. It's a lot of work, yes, but fun anyway. Okay, I'm good. Right. Big fan. Hi Rashika, good to have you here. Sometimes I just like going through the feedback to see what Ankit has told me because, of course, his feedback is way beyond my ears. Sometimes I do not get it, but of course, we can add a few buckles and loops over here, as you said. Of course, I will be detailing this coin as well. I'm thinking about giving it some type of Valorant themed engraving, like mm, maybe that buddy you get in Valorant. I don't know, haven't played that game a lot actually. But let's see. Get this. Oh god. For a long time, I did not know that you could reset the pivot to any point, any normal you like by alt clicking that piece. I did not know that. It was a cool trick. Now you know. Okay. So if I had to have this buckle over here, then I will have to move this upwards because then it would be intersecting with the glove. Okay, let's see. Hmm. I turn off the dynamic for such things. Arey, hello Neutrino, welcome to my stream. All the artists I see have those big screen tablets that you can basically sculpt on directly. I've always wanted those. And I will buy it eventually in the future, hopefully. Get it to be perfect. Okay, let's just move this around that buckle. I cannot. Feeling that this may be too thick. It's not good for neck. The screen tablet. Yes, I know. That's what I tell to myself because I've not bought it yet. I don't know. Then how do artists keep up? Screen tablets. But I've seen a lot of people use it. Uh, do they all have neck problems or something? No pain, no gain. Hmm. But I guess it's fine too. I have a 5,000 rupees tablet and it works just fine. I don't see a reason to change, but I guess I got consumed by the hype, you can say. Autosave, oh god. Autosave gives me a heart attack. No cap. I see that. Let's hide this ball for some reason. Immersive experience. Hmm. But I also think, or maybe it will go away once I start using it because I think like if I draw on the screen, I can see my hand and it will block the view. Right now, I can see the screen like fully without any blocking of my hand. How does that work? Do you like get used to that? I think it will be a problem for me. Let's go to the other hand. You guys may think that this is subdivided, but it has dynamic. This is what it actually looks like. I do not subdivide up until the right moment that I need to sculpt, like final details. I keep it low key, I mean low poly. Oh god, sorry. Your brain will start ignoring it. But whereas when you try to put strokes from left to right, then it will be a problem. When you try to trace something. Okay. Hmm. I don't think it's a big problem though. I think I can get over that. Right now, I do not have any neck problems because I'm looking straight at my screen and my chair is at the perfect level. So, and I keep my back straight. The biggest thing. My eyesight is already bad enough, so I don't want anything else to go wrong. I have no idea about how often should I stream, or should I stream daily because I obviously work daily. Should it be once a week, twice a week? I have no idea. I can stream daily because all I have to do is turn it on and work. Few times a week. Hmm. But then I will have made progress further in the model that people may not have seen. How will that work? Or is that fine? That doesn't really matter. So this is the gloves. I need to get it pretty down. Separate models for streams. So you mean like I should not, should I do like daily sculpts or something? Should I not be working on this model? Is that what you're saying? Mm. Eventually, you will be working on projects that client will ask not to showcase until release. Hmm. Well, I don't plan on showing any professional work. I will only be showing my personal work, my personal portfolios, stuff like that. So I'm thinking to just stream whatever. I'm also thinking of doing, sorry, um, digital paintings over here. Not sure if people would watch that, but maybe, yeah, 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 I don't think we should do that. How long do people stream actually? I think I'm gonna hit the 2 hour mark in about 5-10 minutes. How long do people stream? I can use this buckle. Here. I don't think you should really stress over buckles and loops. Just clone them. I think we should add a loop over here too, because speaking like as usually after buckles there is a loop, so the strap doesn't fly away. I think I need to add another buckle over here. So I think we can just take this one. Yep. And add this over here. And it would obviously go through the word. I need to get it at just the right point. So, yep. Um, in the first 10 minutes of the stream, I don't think I said a lot. And I think a few people left because of that. Um, sorry, this is my first time. I don't know how to do this. Um, yes, I'm trying to make sense of that buckle placement, because if there is a buckle, of course, there's going to be a loop right in front of it. So, yep, we can lower this, and then this one goes under it as well. Something like so. Of course, there's a lot of intersection going on, so we need to fix that. Um, I think what the problem is that this piece is too thick. This whole piece. Maybe I need to calm down on the thickness for this. Um, let's see. If I do 0.005, that did not change a thing. Hmm. Okay, I think this makes more sense. The strap won't be that thick, I suppose. But still, it is feeling a little thin. I will give it around 0.075 should be a sweet spot. Hmm. And as for this, that is just, yep, looks good now. Just a little down from over here. Okay, done with that. And as you can see, a few buckles, a few loops really just add to that visual, what do you call it? Complexity, visual complexity. It makes it look more complex, even though they're just a little shapes, bunch of little shapes. Okay. Alright, guys, I think I should end the stream because it has been 2 hours almost, and I should get up from my chair. You should not sit for too long. So, see you guys the next time I come on live. It will most probably be this week because I do plan on streaming pretty constantly. So thank you guys for watching and see ya.